The loudest cries of insularity often comes from those most deeply rooted in it. He who shouts insular the loudest usually guards the smallest gate. Please listen to this video that I did 2 years ago. These girls, however, are not improving. The team is not improving. We do not see the quality. We do not see the expansion of their talent. We do not see an added variety to their stroke play. The bowling is weak. Some of the bowlers that were at that World Cup last year in New Zealand, if you look at them now, they are bigger. They have put on weight. And despite these many camps, you wonder why. There's no improvement in this team. I know that Cricket West Indies apologists and spin doctors will have many excuses for this team. I asked the question, one of the things that they often said is that there was COVID. But I asked the question, was COVID only in the West Indies? Was COVID not in England and Rwanda, and New Zealand and Pakistan and India? Was COVID only in the West Indies? The apologists blame schools and clubs and regional board. But when for 2 years Cricket West Indies did not organize any female cricket competition in the region, who should be blamed? It doesn't matter how many cricket you play at school, in your community, at clubs. If you do not play regional tournament, the gap between schools and clubs is too far from international cricket. It is the duty of Cricket West Indies, one of their duties, to organize regional competition so that the gap between the clubs and playing in your country, it doesn't matter how many cricket you play in Jamaica or in Barbados. If there's not a regional competition to bridge the gap between you playing in Jamaica and playing at the international level, you will never be able to cope. It is not very often that I call on a coach to be fired or to resign, because I organize over the decision, and I do this without malice or without any prejudice. I thought about it long and hard. But I think it is time that Courtney Walsh should step down as the coach of West Indies women team, senior women team. And should he fail to resign, I think Cricket West Indies should ask him to leave. I think Cricket West Indies should. I do not say this with any pleasure, or I do not gloat about saying it. It's a very painful conclusion for me to reach. But it's clear that under the guidance of Walsh, this team is not improving. Each time the team lose, they lost a match, I am hurting. And I hurt bad. Because I want to see West Indies winning. And even if we do not win, we should not be embarrassed. Shane Diaz was not the first woman coach I called for to be fired. I also called for Courtney Walsh to be fired 2 years ago. If and when that time comes that I should call for Darren Sammy to be fired, it won't be because he's a St. Lucian. Hello everyone, and welcome to the #1 cricket channel in the Caribbean. I thank you for being here. I appreciate your company and look forward to our live interactions this afternoon going into evening. I searched for that video today to prove a number of points. That persons not only call for a coach to be fired because they are not living in their country. They are not from their own country. As you all know, Courtney Walsh and I are Jamaicans. A few months after making that video, I met Courtney Walsh in Florida. And he said, "Come on, man. You guy." Just a minute. I met Courtney Walsh in Florida a few months afterward. And he said to me, "Come here, young man. Come here. I heard you calling for me to be fired. Why are you doing it?" And we have a joke about it. We talk about it. And then we had a drink afterwards. So in calling for a coach to be fired, it is nothing personal. But as I said back then, 2 years ago, I want West Indies to win cricket matches. And even if they lose, West Indies should not embarrass us. So I repeat again, I am Darren Sammy Hin. But if that time comes and I call for his dismissal, it won't be because he's a St. Lucian. You know, the word insularity is a very loaded word. And that is the reason why I keep it out of this community. I have taken steps not to see or use that word in this community. I have asked YouTube to ban the word insularity from this community about 2 years ago. You'd have seen me and you'd have heard me said that I do not say where a player is from. There are times during watch along when there might be slip of the tongue. But generally speaking, wherever the coach or the player is from, I don't say it. That's a measure to discourage insularity. If you know where the player is from, you know, but I'm not going to tell you. The word insularity is very loaded. And I want to take a look at the word insularity this evening before I go any further to show you how loaded this word is and why I try to keep it out of the community. There's about 5 or 6 examples that I could use, but I choose to use these 3. So sorry again, why is this thing coming up when I don't want it to come up? I can't understand what is happening here. So there it is. Thank you very much. I clearly do not understand what is happening here. The wrong image keep coming up when I don't want them to come up. So hopefully this one. So the word insularity. The psychologist Sigmund Freud, and you will all remember Sigmund Freud. He was the man that said the first female that a boy fell in love with is his mother. And the first person that a boy wants to engage in sexual intercourse with its mother. That's Sigmund Freud theory. He is the one who developed the theory of projection. It's a psychological theory. His daughter Anna did some work on it later days. But he said, projection, this is a defense mechanism where a person attributes their own unwanted thoughts, feelings, or impulses to someone else. Simplifying that is like someone who feels or acts insular may accuse others of being insular to deflect criticism or to mask their own bias. So clearly, projection is, for example, a cricket board president from one parish in Jamaica accusing others from the other parishes of bias while always favoring his own parish. I want to pause there because I deliberately use a parish in Jamaica, because I am not here saying that these were the intentions of anyone. When Cricket West Indies president used the word twice yesterday, and I will play it for you very shortly so that you can hear what he said. But I'm just showing you, giving you a background to the word insular and why I keep it out of this community. So the first one is projection. The second one is gaslighting. It's a manipulative behavior type of approach. It's what you call guilting. Let the other person feel guilty when you know that you are in the wrong. So manipulating someone into questioning their own perception. So that's what gaslighting is. It's a form of insularity. So this word gaslighting comes from the 1938 play, Gaslight. I don't know how many of you have watched it. And there was a movie too on the same plane that came about in 1944. You probably have watched that 1944 movie, but have not watched the 1938 play. But in this movie, there was a man who manipulated his wife into thinking she was going insane by simply dimming the gas lights and denying it is happening. And so it is like a leader. A leader might call critics insular while simply promoting their own inner circle or hometown-based favoritism. So someone will want to call you insular because you challenge the appointment of a cricket coach, because you criticize the appointment of a cricket coach. And you may think that that person is appointed through favoritism. And so when you hit the nail on the head, the leader cried out insular, but at the same time, protecting his hometown-based favorite. The third and final one about insular that I want to brought up this evening is hypocrisy in sporting discourse. It is simple promoting one standard. I think it's Machiavelli who did some work on this one. I am almost sure that Machiavelli did some work on this one. In contemporary time, David Runciman also did some work on this one in contemporary time, looking at the link between insularity and hypocrisy. And it is publicly promoting one standard while privately violating it. It is like I am preaching Caribbean unity in this community, but at the same time, I'm only promoting and defending persons from Jamaica. That's what the hypocrisy in sporting disclose mean. And while I am not attributing this in no way to the CWI president, I just want to read the last 2 paragraphs of the release that he made yesterday. Consistent with my message over the last weeks, this is a moment that calls for collaboration, not division. We need everyone on board, fans, players, coaches, legends, and administrators, if we are to truly move forward. There's much work to be done, but we must do it with purpose, and we must do it together. Those were the last 2 words from the goodly two paragraph from the goodly CWI president yesterday. There are many ways in which the CWI president may have defended Sammy. Many ways that he may have defended Sammy without saying these words.
Continues to get unfair criticism because he's from a small island. And listen, some people may run from that fact. But
Did you hear that? Darren Sammy continues to get unfair criticism because he was from a small island. As the thumbnail, as the title said, this was very unfortunate. Let's continue with what he has to say.
I won't run from the fact because insularity is something that still exists in our system that I believe we need to rid of. CLR James wrote about that, right? Some of our former greats also mentioned that in the different texts that they have put out over the years.
All right, let's pause there for a moment. You know, when I heard that first comment, that first part of the comment, I vision myself making such an outburst. I don't know if I'll use the word insularity because I try my best, as I explained to you, it's a loaded word. And you see the 3 examples that I showed you. So I try my best not to use the word insularity. But I can see myself doing that outburst. I recall last year when Joshua Da Silva dropped that catch at Savannah Park. My first reaction there and then was not fit for airplay. But after a minute or 2, I recomposed myself, and you really hope and pray that he took the next catch. In fact, you may recall at the start of the first test between West Indies and Australia, when Brandon King dropped that catch, you will recall my reaction. And I listened back that video this morning, and my reaction was one of outrage and ego. But 30 seconds after that reaction, I calmed down and I said, let us hope that he take the next one that comes to him. Now, so I can understand that initial outburst from Cricket West Indies president. Let's now hear the rest of what he has to say.
So we can't run from that. So when you unfairly criticize Darren Sammy calling for his head after his very first test series, despite seeing improved performance in his bowling, it could only be insularity.
Ooh,
when you call unmasked,
that's a big statement to make, no? That's a very big statement to make.
And I will repeat it if you want me to, Andrew.
Please.
I know you like to play on the radio and send across WhatsApp and in the following day. So let me repeat for you just in case you miss it.
Yes.
Darren Sammy, the head coach of the West Indies team, is being criticized unfairly because it's illusion. Right? Because he is considered And because you consider, and you could challenge me on this.
So there it is. He made the statement, and then Andrew Mason and his other hosts were shocked. You heard their reaction. Oh. And Dr. Shallow, in all his boastful, Cricket West Indies president, in all his boastful grandeur, in all his confidence, and sitting at the peak of his power, where he is untouchable, he said to Andrew Mason, you may not hear it the first time, and I'm paraphrasing here. So do you want me to repeat to make sure that you hear it? And he said, the criticism of Darren Sammy is insularity because he's from St. Lucia. He leaves no doubt. I'm telling you, I am very hurt by this. I have seen in this community that there are persons who are Darren Sammy in, and there are persons who are Darren Sammy out. I'm not here this evening to discuss whether Darren Sammy should be in or Darren Sammy should be out. What I want your reaction on this evening is those comments on insularity by the Cricket West Indies president. I have noticed in this community, as I said, the persons who are Darren Sammy in tends that everyone should be Darren Sammy in. And most of the times, their comments are usually unfortunate and rude. They do not come with evidence why it should be Darren Sammy in. And when I heard the Cricket West Indies president this morning when I got the clip, because you know that Basil had told me last night that he said it, and I was in some doubt. When I heard this morning what the Cricket West Indies president actually said, I was shocked. The president of Cricket West Indies is in a unique position to try and unify the Caribbean. When that person goes about using words like insularity and marginalizing the bigger islands in the Caribbean, like Jamaica, because he did said because the head coach was from St. Lucia, that's why he has been heavily criticized. I played you the video earlier where I called for the removal of Walsh 2 years ago. The comment from the Cricket West Indies president was not only boastful, it was not only arrogant, but it was very disappointing and unfortunate from someone who is in that unique position to unify the region. It came at a time when 2 weeks ago, his own island, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, I think he's from there, Dominica, Belize, and Barbados have decided to implement full free movements of Caribbean people in their country. How can the president of Cricket West Indies remain in his seat, remain as president of Cricket West Indies, when he isolates so many persons by saying that Darren Sammy criticism is because he's from a small island? How can he remain? I am not surprised that 63% of you, 63% of you have voted that the president of Cricket West Indies should go, should resign. And the numbers are over 100 persons have voted. And market research analysts, they will tell you that when 100% of 100 persons voted, a minimum of 100 voted, then it reflects the will of the people. That's what the market research analysts will tell you. And at this moment, with over 102 of you voted, 63%, that's almost 2 to 1, agree that Dr. Shallow should resign as Cricket West Indies president. His position has become untenable. How can he unite the region? What is shocking about this is that instead of the president apologizing for the performance of the West Indies players, since the players did not, and since the coach did not, and since the director of cricket did not, the buck stopped with him. And instead of apologizing, he boastfully said the reason why the head coach is being heavily criticized is due to insularity, is due to the fact that he's from St. Lucia. Again, I use the word unfortunate. I try my best this evening not to use any loaded words, because when you stepped in a deep river, you have to can learn to swim. You have to can tread water, because your foot doesn't reach the bottom. But when you stepped in a shallow river, and especially if there's no sand at the bed, the mud comes up and pollute the river. I have no intention of stepping in a shallow river this evening. I'm going to tread water in a deep river. But the position of the Cricket West Indies president is now untenable. Absolutely untenable. There must be a call to action. He needs to apologize for two things. One, for the performance of the West Indies cricket team. And two, for this outburst of insularity. I can forgive the first part of the outburst. I cannot forgive the second part. I'm asking the president of Cricket West Indies to come forward with the evidence to prove that the head coach is being unfairly criticized because he is from St. Lucia. I'm asking the president, please, Mr. President, come forward with the evidence that the head coach is being unfairly criticized because he is from St. Lucia. I will play the clipping again for those who did not hear it.
But Darren continues to get unfair criticism because he's from a small island. And And listen, some people may run from that fact, but I won't run from the fact because insularity is something that still exists in our system that I believe we need to rid of. CLR James wrote about that, right? Some of our former greats also mentioned that in the different texts that they have put out over the years. So we can't run from that. So when you unfairly criticize Darren Sammy calling for his head after his very first test series, despite seeing improved performance in his bowling, it could only be insularity.
Ooh,
when you call on
that's a big statement to make, no? That's a very big statement to make.
And I will repeat it if you want me to, Andrew.
Please.
I know you like to play on the radio and send across WhatsApp and in the following day. So let me repeat it for you just in case you miss it.
Yes.
Darren Sammy, the head coach of the West Indies team, is being criticized unfairly because it's illusion. Right? Because he is considered, and because he is considered, and you could challenge me on this.
Later in the show, I'm going to do the player ratings. The player ratings for the third test have been heavily criticized for not doing the player ratings for the third test. In a way, I feel good that persons want to do the player ratings. So I've put the link in the video description here. I don't know if it is in the live chat, but it's in the video description. Just look below the video and you will see the player ratings link. Click on it and do your player ratings. And please remember to click on that thumbs up button. I'm coming to your comment now. Good evening, Banana Brook from England, saying that is empty rhetoric, the art of politics. Good evening, Sheldon. Good evening, Atina. Christopher Bristol, good evening. Jamur Small, good evening. Carlton Aman, good evening. Yes, Carlton, I like all what you stand for. Big up to you. Thank you very much, Carlton Aman. Good evening to you, Roger Morgan. Good evening, Cardell Armstrong. Good evening, Rupert Morgan. Good evening. Rupert Morgan is saying, poor president. Poor from the president, Rupert Morgan is saying. Banana Brooks is saying, when Great Britain is represented in sport by someone from Scotland or Wales, etc., I support them regardless. So I find the West Indies supporters' individual islands bias hard to understand. Banana Brook, I think that you are being misled by Cricket West Indies president. And I said that because every single one of you here who was either at the match at Sabina Park or was watching on television, you heard the loud cheer when Kevlin Anderson got off his mark Saturday night. It was the absolutely loudest cheer of the evening from the thousands of fans at Sabina Park. And that's another thing too. How do you get people into Sabina Park when you make those insularity statements? How? You know? And as I mentioned, the Jamaican government would have spent millions of taxpayers' dollars, and the Jamaica Cricket Association president, who in fact is a very, very good friend of Cricket West Indies president, the JCA president would have worked tirelessly to get Sabina Park up and running. And I personally want to see people go to the match. And I'm declaring here now, I'm going to the match to support the West Indies team, despite of the rhetoric from Cricket West Indies president. He needs to provide proof of the evidence that Darren Sammy is being criticized because he's St. Lucian. Those are inflammatory remarks, and he needs to provide proof. So it's not necessarily true that we don't support players from other countries. We don't. When Alzari Joseph and Jaden Seals and Shamar Joseph and Justin Greaves were running into bowl on Saturday, and also Sunday evening, you look at those persons in the stand you felt the atmosphere. You must have felt it on television. None of those 4 bowlers are Jamaicans, but the Jamaican crowd was fully behind them. So it's not fear. It's not fear. It's not fear. And I'm waiting to see the reaction from leaders in the Caribbean, states leaders, to this comment from from the Cricket West Indies president. Thank you, Tony Franklin. I appreciate it. Good night to you, good night to you too, Keith Aaron. The bigger question should be, did Sarandama get the job because he's from St. Lucia? What a question that, Sheldon. That's a magnificent question. I'm telling you, Sheldon, that question bowled me. It bowled me. I wasn't even thinking like that. I wasn't even thinking like that. But all of you who listen to me, you would have heard me said on many occasions that I would have not selected Darren Sammy to be the coach of the West Indies cricket team. But I also believe that the Cricket West Indies president, who is the leader of the pack, should get his man. And I don't want this show, and I will not allow it to turn into a Darren Sammy in or a Darren Sammy out. But that was a good question that you asked, Sheldon. Did he get the job because he's from St. Lucia? Again, however, and I know why you asked the question, and it's very sensitive because we are taking a position against insularity. So we ourselves should not be projecting insularity. So it's a very sensitive question, but I know that it's a very loaded question and it's a good question to ask. Keith Aaron said, my only interest is in Robin Singh. Peace to everyone, Philip Baines. Charlie X said, I thought, wow. I got it, Charlie X. You know, I got what you're saying, Charlie X, and yes, Charlie X. That's a feedback that is coming from a large number of persons, especially on social media, in the Jamaican community, and you see that it's a lot. That's the general feedback. Is it fair to be bowled out for 27th? Sammy with his brand and role to destroy West Indies cricket, said David Rocks. You know, as I said, David, we would have discussed it 2 days in a row. It's not that I'm ignoring your comment, but I really want a reflection on the comments of the Cricket West Indies president. So appreciate it, you know. That statement made by the CWI president is one of the most fallacious and disgusting statement ever made, said Philip Baines. And it deflects, so Banana Brooks is saying, and it deflects from the real issue. And that's what fraud is saying that's what fraud is saying in projection. You try to project the blame onto someone else. Eric McClymont said he should have never been appointed in the first place. Let him go back to IT. He knows nothing about cricket, said Eric McClymont. And so Charlie X, TV and Cricket Power Play said, bless up TV and Cricket Power Play. I heard that your studio is up and running. It's indeed a sad time for Caribbean cricket. I heard your studio is up and running. So for those of you who are in Florida and New York and so on, TV and Cricket Power Play has a mobile studio. You not only stream cricket, but if you have a wedding, a function, anything like that, you need to beam to the world, TV and Cricket Power Play. Give him a call. Probably, Elton, you should put your number or your email address in the chat. Kartik Raj Singh said, first we want to keep it though, Kartik and Dr. Shallow. We are going to the player ratings shortly. So please do your player rating. The link is in the video description. Click on it. The All West Indies team, with the exception of the bowlers, is being criticized. It's that because of where they are from, or because of it is not because of where. Okay, Philip Baines, let I go again. Sorry. The All West Indies team, with the exception of the bowlers, is being criticized. It is not because of where they are from or because they're batting. Is it? I think what he's saying, that the whole West Indies cricket team is being criticized, but they are not being criticized because of where they are from. They are being criticized because of their performances. And I could have listed out Darren Sammy performances since he took over as head coach, but I'm not going there, because really, I just want to address this issue, and I want to address it head on, and to say to the Cricket West Indies president, your position has now become untenable unless you can provide proof. Unless you can provide proof that Darren Sammy is being criticized because he's from St. Lucia. Dr. Shallow should pack his bag and leave, said Ferrell Francis. This position now. Sammy should do the right thing and leave now. Meanwhile, Sheldon said the best coach is off developing another young team in Bangladesh. Well, Sheldon, but come on, Sheldon, we can't be here talking about the same thing we are talking about not to do, Sheldon. That's what you are doing there, Please, please. Please smash a like on the video. Jamor Small is saying, I think we need to strengthen our regional cricket board. Yes, thumbs up to you, Kane. Carlton, we should recognize the great efforts by the Jamaica Cricket Association and the Jamaican government for putting on the test despite the loss. Day and night game in Jamaica, a great achievement. Eric McClymont, I appreciate that, and I did. I've even tried to get someone from the government to talk about it. I tried to get Dr. Bennett from JCA to talk about it. I have been unsuccessful so far, but I really want to give them their kudos. Andre Holmes is saying that statement could destroy cricket. It is sad. You're absolutely spot on, because how do we really move beyond this? And one of the reasons why I stated here that I'm going to the match on Sunday is because of things that people want me to say, because persons are upset. And I am not going to lead any action in certain direction. What I'm calling for is the president to provide proof. And I'm saying it again, I'm going to match, and I'm going to match very early on Sunday. So please look at it. Please look at it, at the investment of the Jamaican government and the work that Jamaica Cricket Association would have done, led by its president, who, as I said, incidentally is a good friend. Once again, they will play the blame game and the victim because they don't like criticism, and it's still, but not fix the number one problem in West Indies cricket. Yes, and as I said, there are many ways in which he could have defended the head coach instead of making that statement. Neil Mohammed is saying, thank you, Derek Paul, for that comment. Neil Mohammed is saying, as a Trinidadian, I can say that my country will not have another test player for a long time. All the young cricketers here are going for the money in the shorter form of the game. Okay, they have been misled if they think they can do that, though, Neil Mohammed. I talk about what you said about. We will discuss that another day, Leroy George. We'll discuss that another day. Right now, West Indies will accept. Will accept what, Anthony George? It was just a bad outing. No need for alarm, said TJ Pinder. Okay. So All right, thank you for your comment. Never Isaac, good to see you here. Imagine if Clive Light, Vivian Richards, and Brian Lara joined forces to stage a dramatic takeover of West Indies Cricket Board. Would they shake things up? Would they shake things up for the better? Well, my position, you see, whatsoever can be done to improve West Indies cricket, I want it to be done. I have often said, but we just want to. We're going to go to the player rating shortly. So, Hassan Abdullah saying, a disgraceful comment from the CWI president. He needs apologize and quick, immediately, said Hassan Abdullah. And that comment is being said a lot. It has been said a lot. I don't think Sam is. And Keith is CWI a friendly society? No, to the best of my knowledge, it's a private company with a public good. I think so. And Andre Ohm said, any other organization that suffered an embarrassment like that would do the honorable thing and resign. And as I said, it is not about how you play. It's about the embarrassment. And for those of you who are just joining and never hear the comment, I'll play it one more time before I go to the player ratings.
But Darren continues to get unfair criticism because he's from a small island. And listen, some people may run from that fact, but I won't run from the fact because insularity is something that still exists in our system that I believe we need to rid of. CLR James wrote about that, right? Some of our former greats also mentioned that in the different texts that they put out over the years. So we can't run from that. So when you unfairly criticize Darren Sammy calling for his head after his very first test series, despite seeing improved performance in his bowling, it could only be insularity.
Ooh,
when you call on Miles,
that's a big statement to make, no? That's a very big statement to make.
And I will repeat it if you want me to, Andrew.
Please.
I know you like to play on radio and send across WhatsApp and in the following day. So let me repeat for you just in case you miss it.
Yes.
Darren Sammy, the head coach of the West Indies team, is being criticized unfairly because it's illusion. Yeah. Right? Because he is considered, and because he is considered,
you know, it's really the last part of that question. It's really that second part when he said, I can repeat it for you, Andrew, if you want. I know you're going to want to send it across WhatsApp and all those things. So just in case you forget it, I'm paraphrasing, I will repeat it for you. And that is the part that I really cannot get around. I just think that the Cricket West Indies president, after the organization that he led, after the cricket organization that he led, has just gotten bowled out for the second lowest total ever in international cricket. That's how he came about. Is that how he's on a throne that is untouchable? And so he can, it is like he's on a throne and he's just passing down informations to his loyal subjects. And they just have to accept it, take it. I am telling you now, I am the big bad Cricket West Indies president. And whether you people like it or not, this is what I'm telling you. Darren Sammy is being criticized unfairly, and it's insularity because he's from St. Lucia. And you humble servants of the Most High CWI president, you better turn up and full Sabina Park on Sunday and support the West Indies team despite you are insular. That second part, when he said, I can tell you, Mason, I can tell you. It really gets to me, that second part. Now I'm going to do the West Indies player rating. As you know, I always do this after a match. I've been heavily criticized for not doing the player rating, but I'm going to do it now, and so the criticism won't be that much now. So please, I hope that you would have done your player rating. I am doing mine now. So John Campbell, 30 odd in the first innings. In all honesty, he got a early in the second innings. But the fact that 36 over 2 innings, I'll give him a 2. Mikel Lowe cannot be nothing more than a 1. The less said, the better. Well, Kevlin Anderson debut, but I still can only give Kevlin Anderson a 1. Brandon King, 14 in the first innings. I think he got a harsh call in the first innings, but then play a loose drive at the first ball that he faced from Stark. You know, with 2 wickets down, he should have blocked that ball. Can't give him more than a 1. Raston Chase stood around a little for the first innings, but again, it's really the numbers that count, and I can't give Chase more than a 1. Shea, again, the less said, the better. Justin Greaves bowled very well in the first innings in particularly. Clearly, he was tired in the second innings when he was bowling. Bad mix-up with Shamar Joseph. He was batting well before he got run out in the first innings. 3 wickets from him, as you know, in the match, in the first innings. And he did support the bowlers well overall. You know, my thing is that I'm wavering about 5 or 6. Between 5 or 6, because 3 wickets meant a lot. And, you know, I will give him a 5. I don't, but 3 wickets, did he reach average? He should have, no, I'll give him a 5. I don't think he was quite average, because 6 is average, you know. So I don't think he was quite average. Alzarri Joseph, magnificent with the ball throughout. Again, he showed up his class in the second innings and was brilliant. You know, so the bowlers bowl well. I will give Alzarri a 7. I'll also will give Shamar a 7, and I'll give Jaden Seals a 6. No, Jamel Warrican. Sorry, I not even did remember that Jamel Warrican played. What did he do? Oh, he bowled a few overs in the first innings. Didn't get any wicket though. You know, and I was making the point, you know, that Justin Greaves have taken more wickets in the series than Anderson Phillip and Jamel Warrican. So he should have really batted at number 8, and we include the extra batsman. I don't think that will stop us from losing, but and that was my point when I was picking my playing 11. And as you know, the West Indies T20 squad came out today. I'll review that a morning. Yes, that will be a morning show. I will definitely review it, and probably tomorrow evening now I'll do my I have a suggestion in place that I want to put forward and hear what you think. So I will do that a morning. Jaden Seals 6 and captaincy of Raston Chase. You know, there's not much to say about the captain, but you lose, so you cannot get average. 4, Darren Sammy, I think he got the selection all wrong. I can't give Sammy more than a 1. I just think that he got the selection all wrong, all wrong. So I submit my ratings there. So you see my ratings has been submitted now. I'm going now to come to the overall ratings. So let me go now to the overall ratings, and I hope that you would have done your ratings also. I do not take the ratings in the comment section. You have to click on the ratings. You have to click on the ratings in the video description, and when you click on the rating in the video description, you do that, right? So I'm now going to go to the overall. I'm going to go to the overall rating now and see what it is like, and I hope you would have definitely joined the rating. I see a number of you have joined it, which is good. So let me check out the overall rating. So Let's see how many of you do the same thing that I did if your scores are similar to mine. So I'm going to do this now. So let's here we go. So there. Wow. So and remember that we go by the highest score. We go by the score which most persons voted for. We have seen in the past, and Athena had suggested that we remove the first score, the lowest score and the highest score, and then work out the average. Unfortunately, we do not have the software to do it. So what we have done is that we gave the person a rating that most persons believe that he should get. And in doing that, I found out that somebody can put a 10 for their favorite player to bring up the average. So I was happy for the suggestion of Athena, but I think that this one is a better one in that it shows where most people voted. And so John Campbell got a 1. Most persons said that he got a 1. Michael Louis got a 1. And that's what I'm talking about now. 3 persons gave Michael Louis a 3. It's unbelievable. Kevlin Anderson got a 1. Brandon King 1. Ruston Chase 1. Shea Hope 1. So all 6 batsmen get 1. Justin Greaves got a 4. Somebody was willing to give Justin Greaves a 9, but goodly, most persons gave him a 4. So Justin Greaves got a 4. Alzari Joseph apparently got a 10. He was perfect. So Alzari Joseph got a 10. Interesting. Well, you know, you are the community. You voted, 23 of you. If there are persons who want to say that Alzari Joseph didn't deserve a 10, that is why you need to vote. You need to vote. And so that you can't complain about the score that the player gets if you did not vote. So 10 for Alzari Joseph, he was perfect. 10 also for Shamar Joseph. So both Joseph got 10. Interesting. 10. Wow. More persons gave Shamar 10 more than Alzari. Jamel Warrican got a 1. One person think that Jamel Warrican should be given an 8. Probably that person is very, very close to Jamel Warrican. While for Jaden Seals, he got a 10. So interestingly, you realize that all 6 batsmen got 1, and the trio of fast bowlers got 10. So Ruston Chase, let me see. Wow, for his captaincy was 1 for his captaincy. And Darren Sammy as a coach got 1. So all 3 fast bowlers got 10 and all 6 batsmen got 1. Justin Greaves fell somewhere in between there. Let's check what Justin Greaves got. Justin Greaves got a 4. So thank you all for participating. I really appreciate it. And now you can give me a break for all of you who were arguing and sending me the text message and the emails about what is the player rating. So thank you very much for tuning in. I really appreciate your company, and I look forward to see you tomorrow morning when we discuss the West Indies T20 squad. Take care of yourself. Take care of your loved ones. Bye for now. See you in the morning.